Os, I'm Watanabe Shinji, Kudo Daidojuku Shihan. Thank you very much for watching and appreciating the last video I posted, a 59-year-old man's challenge. Many people praised me, saying, "Sensei, you are amazing." Thank you so much. I'm very honored. But the truth is, I'm not amazing at all. I'm just an ordinary guy, really. The reason why such an ordinary guy was able to do that is because Kata and Kudo are amazing. Today's video is about inside story of that tournament and about Kata and Kudo. Most of the parts are just talk, so it's not interesting in terms of images, but I'd be happy if you could watch it till the end. Os. My opponent in the second round, my first match, was a 25-year-old black belt who is a dormitory student at the headquarters. Dormitory students are like semi-professionals who live in the dojo and help out with the dojo administration and instruction while practicing on their own. He hasn't made any outstanding achievements in the All Japan Championship yet, but he is expected to make a leap forward in the future. So he is one of the candidates to win this tournament. To give you a little background, I actually fought him at the end of last year at his black belt examination. You can see the video here. At the time, we fought two rounds of 1 minute match with different rules. The result was 2 draws. But, to be honest, I think I had a little bit of an advantage. But for him, I was just one of the opponents of a 10-man committee. He had to calculate the stamina for the rest of the fight, so he couldn't give it his all. Therefore, he must be thinking that wasn't my real ability, and it's true that was not. So, in a sense, this rematch can be called a decisive battle. It became a very fierce battle. As you all know, I was fortunate enough to win for warning to him. But that was a really tough fight, especially this thing was dangerous. This is after the accidental interruption when the mat shifted. This is the scene where he regained stamina a little, realized the disadvantage of the situation, and raised the gears to fight back. Especially the last left hook was a blow that could become Koka. I was still exposed to onslaught after this, but somehow I regained my position as he ran out of energy in the reserve tank and he slowed down again. But it was a really dangerous scene. This time, a result was achieved, but this is not the final decision. In the future, I'm sure I'll fight him again, whoever stronger. I have to get even stronger in preparation for that time. Now, for the third round, the semifinals against a 19-year-old young samurai. The age difference is 40 years. Too young. He could have been my grandson. And he got the second place in the last All Japan Championship. He was the top candidate to win this tournament. To tell you the story behind also this one, I fought him once too. It was 2 years ago at the Kanto preliminary round. He was only 17 years old at that time and was in the junior category. The reason why I ended up fighting him was because there was no one in the class he entered that could match him. So Azuma Jukucho consulted with his sensei, Mr. Mori, and Mori sensei asked Jukucho, could Could you please, he's in the adult category. He has a talent and ability, so he could do it there too. Since Mori Sensei is also a coach of the Japanese national team, Azuma Jukucho agreed, saying, if Mori says it's okay, then it must be okay. And as a special exception, he was allowed to participate in the qualifying round of the adult category, and his opponent was me. In that matchup, I won by taking a Koka in grand fight in the extra round. So, in that sense, from his point of view, this time is a so-called the revenge match. As I said before, he is now the finalist in All Japan. I'm sure he was excited about this rematch, saying, I'm not the same guy I was back then. On the other hand, I was also not satisfied with my performance in that match, although I won. At that time, I was in the process of changing my kumite style from Naihanchi to Tomari Seisan, and the first match I tried the Seisan move was against him. Moves that I could do well in practice, but I couldn't do well at all in competition due to nervousness and excitement. Well, it happens all the time, doesn't it? I was so confused that I didn't know what I was doing, but I managed to just win. That was the situation. In the 2 years since then, I have been practicing more and more, and now I am able to fight by Seisan moves with confidence. Actually, in also the second round, I fought by using it. So, like him, I went into the match thinking, I'm not the same as I was then. But, unfortunately, I was completely defeated. His fast punches extended from the faster distance than I expected, and I couldn't deal with them. My leg kicks were doing a lot of damage to him, but since he got the cock first, I had no choice but to move forward to get the point back, and he ducked with a hit and run. It's a shame. It's always frustrating to lose, no matter how old I am. I have to train more and will be stronger. By the way, my leg kick is using my geri. It was my secret weapon for this tournament. A calf kick has become a popular technique in MMA recently, but it is done with a mawashi geri. However, I use my geri directly to the opponent's shins. This is very distracting. If I kicked at full power, I would probably break the shin bone easily, but I didn't want to do it. That is to say, I didn't want to hurt my opponent more than necessary to win. And if I actually broke his leg with this, there was a possibility that the technique would be suddenly banned on the spot, saying that was too dangerous. That would have been disadvantageous for me, so I kicked with control. Even so, both of my opponents seemed to have taken a lot of damage. Especially my opponent in the semifinal must have taken a lot of damage, since I hit them 3 times in a row. This is the scene. After this, he switched to a solo hit and run strategy.
上下で上下上下。
Here, it seems that he is appearing his superiority with his punch and speedy footwork. But in fact, he hates being kicked and keeps moving his legs so as not to be targeted. I think that was the truth. This may be a bit of tangent, but if more people use this leg game, it may change the face of MMA fights in the future, including Kudo. This is because, as I said before, I think it is a technique that can break the opponent's leg in one shot if you kick it seriously. In that case, a boxing style of fighting, where you keep your weight on your front leg and don't change your stance, is dangerous because your front leg is easily targeted. So, what to do? The solution lies in kata. If you can constantly switch your stance and be able to fight on the left or the right, you can reduce the risk of being targeted in the front leg. Nine hunch is a symmetrical kata. Or Seisan is also moving while switching sides. In other words, kata tells you that you have to be able to use your left and right sides equally. Or if you can do namigaeshi, you can let the target leg go. This is nine hunch. Or you can move directly into a counter attack. This is Seisan, right? Isn't kata amazing? As I've said before, kata is a very effective training method designed for actual combat. At first glance, kata movements look very unnatural and irrational. But in reality, they are unnatural but also very rational. And when you can do those unnatural movements naturally, you can get the power, speed, and stamina you need to fight without relying on your physical abilities. In other words, your youth. Many of you may have doubted this assertion of mine from before, but I think that this time, especially in my first fight, I was able to prove power of it. If we two had a barbell, he would be able to lift more of the heavier ones. Or if we two run, he will be faster and can run longer distances. There is no doubt that he is far superior to me in power, speed, and stamina, all aspects of pure athletic ability. But in the battlefield, they are all expressed through a filter called skill. And it is the essence of kata to fundamentally rebuild that skill. By practicing right kata with right understanding, you can stay strong beyond physical decline, or you can get even stronger. The specifics have been posted on this channel for some time now, and will be posted more in the future. Please look forward to it. Also, if you would like me to teach you in person, please come to my dojo and I'll give you a personal lesson or something. Moreover, if you have any other requests, such as I'll plan a seminar, so come to my country, please let me know and I'll consider it. I'm willing to go anywhere in the world because I like to travel abroad. Well, that will be after COVID-19 is more settled. And one more thing, after all, the martial art and combat sport called Kudo is really amazing. Kudo is practical, realistic, safe, and above all, fun to do. I strongly hope that Kudo will become more popular as one of the best rules of karate. For example, the training methods that are effective for boxing are different from for wrestling. If the rules of the fight are different, the aspect of the fight will change. And if the aspect of the fight changes, the effective training methods will also change. It's needless to say. In this sense, if you want to practice kata and verify its effectiveness, you should choose a combat sport with rules that are as close as possible to the time when kata functioned as effective training for actual fighting. That is to say, the time karate's origins. And it is Kudo. You can simulate a fight from the time of karate's origins with a certain level of safety in Kudo. I hope you will challenge Kudo too. I'm not saying that you should quit your current karate and switch to Kudo. Never. Why don't you do both? Like me? Trying Kudo may also help you rediscover the goodness and attraction of current karate you practice. As I said at the beginning, I am now 59 years old and my two opponents are 25 and 19 years old. The age difference is 34 and 40 years respectively. There is no way that a battle between the two of them would ever be possible. If they fought, it would be a one-sided situation, or in some cases, it would result in a serious accident. But I did it with no injury. However, I'm just an ordinary guy. I'm not special at all. You can do it too. What is special? The training method called kata and the martial art called kudo and its competition rules. Please understand it. I want to continue to tell the fascination and the potential of kata and kudo. I really hope it. Please support me. Os. That's it for this video. What did you think? If you liked it, please click the good button and subscribe to my channel. See you again. Os.